was 1,271 days ago when Argentina and France contested the World Cup final in Qatar, a game that will forever be remembered in the annals of the sport. Now, 3.5 years later, the biggest ever edition of the world's biggest sporting tournament comes to North America. Today, it all gets started in a historic city at a historic venue. The Estadio Azteca in Mexico City is the site for Game 1 of 104 in this magical journey that will be the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Mexico and South Africa, the opener of the 2010 World Cup, opening the 2026 World Cup. As ever, the opener comes from Group A, which also includes South Korea and Czechia, who match up later tonight in Game 2. And it is our great honor to say hello, one and all. I'm Matthew Owens. That is Matt White, whatever direction I'm supposed to be pointing. Hello, one and all. It's so great to have you with us. It's great to be on these airwaves for this amazing tournament. What an incredible next handful of weeks it will be. We come to you today from the Estadio Azteca. Welcome to Mexico City. Thanks for having us in for Game 1 of 104. The World Cup is here, Matt White. We've been building up to it for so very long. It's finally here. The Estadio Azteca is jam-packed, and we're ready for a magic carpet ride.
Yeah, certainly is. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 2026 World Cup. A tournament 10 years in the making, and so much has been spoken about it off the field, especially in the last week or 10 days. Finally, we can let the action do the talking, and it's only a small 10 minutes away.
And it feels like those 10 minutes are going to last an absolute lifetime. The World Cup itself, we know the enormity of the event, Matt. What we're so excited for this year is, for the first time ever, 3 co-hosts of this great event. So we span an entire continent here as we bring the world to North America. As I said, it's the biggest edition ever of this tournament, 48 teams. And we all come to one continent to celebrate a game that is beloved by the world.
Yeah, more of the world coming to the biggest continent in terms of its usage for the tournament. More teams, more players, more games than ever before. And it's going to be huge. And what a way to kick it off with, as you said, in the bring in there, a repeat of the game that started it all in the last big, real big continent we went to in Africa in 2010. A 1-1 draw between these two sides. Their last meeting, in actual fact, was that opener in 2010. But this time it's the other way around, and Mexico are the host and the home nation, and the Azteca this afternoon is very, very green, and I don't mean just about the grass on the turf.
Green for Mexico
Yes.
and South Africa. It's a method to the madness most of the time. Mexico, the story for them in this tournament, aside from being the co-host, Matt, is what a wild disappointment, and for a lot of Mexican football fans, what a wild embarrassment from 4 years ago in Qatar as they were eliminated in the group stage, something that had not happened in many, many years. They had exited in the round of 16 in 7 straight World Cups prior to 4 years ago in Qatar. But 4 years ago, not making it out of the group, a tournament where they only scored 2 goals in 3 matches. This is a big event for Mexico because it's another World Cup. It's a big event for Mexico because they're co-hosting it, but it's also a big event for Mexico because redemption is on their minds.
Yeah, absolutely. It didn't go their way at all in Qatar. And with this expanded tournament, if they get off to a shaky start, there is still opportunities because, as we know, 8 of the 12 third-place teams in this group stage also will make it through. to the extended knockout round, which I'm sure we'll talk plenty about the more this tournament goes on, especially when we're through the first couple of rounds of games. So um, they have to perform in front of their home fans. And I expect they will. This is not the South African team of years past either in front of them, especially today. I've got Mexico as this group's winners in Group A, and they will need to make sure that they get off to a big start on their big stage today.
Absolutely. And we know, of course, how populated Mexico City is. It feels like the whole city has jammed their way into the Estadio Azteca as the Jules Rimet Trophy is being lifted and shown to the crowd. Mexico has never won this. Of course, this is the third time that they are a host nation for a World Cup. In the prior 2 World Cups that they hosted, they did extremely well in making the quarterfinals in both 1970 and 1986, their best ever World Cup results. They are ranked 14th in the FIFA World Ranking if you are a world ranking person. And this is a club, Matt, that has been playing extremely well on the build up to this tournament. Obviously, did not have to go through qualifying, so they've scheduled a lot of friendlies coming into this. And in the calendar year 2026, they have not lost 8 matches, 6 wins, and they've outscored their opponents 15-2 across those 8 matches, and playing some big time teams like Portugal and Belgium and Australia, which we will also see in this World Cup tournament.
Yeah, and that's after the sort of discussion about what happened last time. They needed to make sure they were prepped and ready. No injuries really to worry about sort of late on, apart from one of the goalkeeping changes that's happened, but that wasn't for the first team keeper anyway. So they are ready. We are ready, and let's hope that this just sets the scene, as all these opening games of World Cups always seems to do.
Teams are walking out into the Estadio Azteca here in Mexico City, where the stars are, of course, the guys in green, wearing the green shirts with white numbers and nameplates. That, of course, is the home squad from Mexico. What about this South African team, Matt? We talked about how this calendar year Mexico has not lost a game. Well, in this calendar year, South Africa has not won a game. 3 draws and 2 losses from 5 matches. The last time this squad won a game was in December of 2025 in the African Cup of Nations against Zimbabwe.
Yeah, indeed. It's not been a great start and build up to them for the tournament. Their Belgian coach, Hugo Bruce, has laid or sort of lent on the Mamelodi Sundowns, the champions of Africa and the Champions League winners of Africa as well. They're sort of the bulk of their squad. As I had mentioned before, they have not got the kind of players that we have gone with in times of yore that were playing, across Europe, and especially in the Premier League in sort of the noughties and what the run up to that 2010 World Cup. So it's a very different looking South African team for this World Cup as it was the last time they qualified, of course, as the host in 2010.
And of course, played Mexico in that opening match. They drew 1-1, got the opening goal of that match, which of course was so significant for the entire country, the entire continent of Africa. You remember the great Peter Drury call. National anthems are about to be played in front of, well, standing room only crowd, Matt. The scenes coming from Mexico City are almost impossible to wrap your mind around.
Yeah, beautiful sunshine, great day. The place looks packed and perfect. Only minutes to go now until this World Cup finally gets underway.
You mentioned the South African team, the makeup of these players, Matt, 26 players, of course, on each squad. 19 of the 26 on this South African team played domestically in South Africa. You mentioned all of the players that come from the Mamelodi Sundowns, which is the most successful team in the South African Premiership. That's won 15 titles in the history of that league. Most of the players come from that club.
Yeah, indeed. And they were part of the FIFA World Club Cup last summer that played just north of the border in the United States. So they've got plenty of sort of memories, that team or the players in that team, from last summer playing in North America. Didn't have a great time in that tournament, but they certainly represented the nation as best as they could. And and the continent for that point as well. And they hope to do the same again. But they'll probably be leaning a little bit on Lyle Foster, their number 9, who plays his club football here in the UK at Burnley.
Yeah, probably the player that most people, or the people know the most about on this South African team is Foster. If it's not him, it's their captain, who is their goalkeeper, Matt. That's Ronwen Williams. He's been the captain of this South African team since August of 2021. He has been a mainstay for a long time on this club, which he made his first appearance for some 12 years ago.
Yeah, this will be his 63rd cap. So he's got plenty of experience keeping the sticks, or between the sticks, for South Africa. And 34 years old, so this is probably his last chance to play at a World Cup. And there's plenty of those ages and more smattered around all of the teams, which we'll, I'm sure, talk about when the time is right throughout the tournament. Plenty of people's last attempts at playing at a World Cup final or finals.
Mentioned Mexico's FIFA World Ranking is 14. South Africa, you have to go and scroll down the page quite a bit more to find them. They are 46 places lower. They are ranked 60th in the world, qualifying for the World Cup. Their first appearance since 2010 in a World Cup, so I suppose, Matt, you could say first time qualifying for the World Cup since 2002.
Yes. Of course, they were straight to the 2010 tournament as hosts. So we sort of, without knowing a lot about the team, because as we mentioned before, not so many players playing outside of the African League, could be a very dramatic dark horse in this tightly packed group with that Korea Czechia game to come later on this evening. So they would probably be hoping for the 3rd place in the group at best, but stranger things have happened.
Yeah, Czechia and South Korea also in this group, playing later tonight, and I do mean later, 7 hours from now. It'll be here on the channel as those two will do battle from Guadalajara. Obviously, the makeup of this World Cup different from what we are used to as we go from 32 teams to 48. And that does change the arithmetic around it, with now certain 3rd place group teams making the knockout round. National anthems complete. A helicopter over the top of the Estadio Azteca with a Mexican flag billowing through the breeze here in Mexico City, one of the most populous cities in all the world. It is a comfortable day. A lot of talk about the heat around this World Cup here in North America. It's a comfortable day here today, Matt. Not quite as muggy as it will be when we enter the United States for a lot of these matches. 75 degrees, very little humidity for everyone here. Of course, they'd still be here if it was uncomfortable, but it's not for them today.
No, indeed. And the Mexicans, of course, well, South Africans too, to some degree, both nations used to playing at altitude, which are the games in Mexico. We talk about the heat and stuff in the US games, which is going to be a part of this tournament as we go through. But the games being played in Mexico, a good chunk of them being played at altitude. Both of these nations know how to do that, of course, the hosts being, of course, their stadium, their team, their tournament, or part of it.
Moments away from kicking off this World Cup that we have waited so long for. You say that normally the wait is 4 years. This time around, really only 3.5. But still, we have waited so long. This was announced just before the 2018 tournament started in Russia that it would be all-encompassing North American tournament. And we have been counting down for those 8 years for this. Tomorrow night, the United States open up their tournament at 9 p.m. Eastern Time in Los Angeles, while Canada, the 3rd of the co-host, of course, will open up their account tomorrow afternoon against Bosnia and Herzegovina. The match officials on screen with Wilton Sampaio of Brazil as the head referee. Of course, the VAR group is in play once again. This is the 3rd World Cup with VAR review if needed. The VAR referee hails from Colombia. Mexico will be in green shirts with white numbers. South Africa will be in yellow shirts with green numbers. So the contrast will be quite colorful on the pitch. And let's step through the starting 11 with Matt White first from Mexico.
Raul Rangel will keep the sticks, the number one goalkeeper for the Mexicans. The defenders are Israel Revez at right back, Cesar Montes, the captain, number 3, in the center of defense alongside Johan Vasquez, and at left back is Jesus Gallardo. That's the 4 at the back. 3 we expect in midfield. Eric Liara, the number 6. 8 is Alvaro Figdaro, and the number 26, which is Brian Gutierrez. Up front, it's a free head there as well. Raul Jimenez leads the line. Just been transferred from Fulham back to Wolves in the Premier League this week, alongside Julian Quinones, who we'll hear a lot of, and Roberto Alvarado, the number 25. They are the 3 up front for Mexico.
That is the Mexico starting 11. Meanwhile, for South Africa, Hugo Broos, their Belgian manager, with the captain Ronwen Williams in goal. It's a back 5. 3 in the middle include Yaya Satoli, who could be very explosive. He's a great playmaker. He's flanked by Jaden Adams. And then 2 up front include Lyle Foster, who we mentioned plays domestically in England at Burnley. He is flanked by Ikram Rainers, who has scored 24 goals in just 2 seasons at Mamelodi Sundowns in the South African Premiership. He scored 1 goal in qualifying and has 5 goals in only 18 appearances for the South African national team. All of the waiting, all of the build-up, all of the emotion, now it comes to fruition for these two sides. You think the anticipation is high for all in this building. You think the anticipation is high for all of us around the world watching. You think all the anticipation is high for the 2 people on your screen. Imagine being 22 on this pitch at this very moment. Sports here are transcendent in the world. They're transcendent in human history. Sports fits all shapes and sizes. You can be of any race, any nationality. You can be rich, poor, or middle class. From young children to the oldest of souls, from male to female, it does not matter. Sport has a history to bring us all together, no matter how turbulent the times are. Today begins a 6-week ride where the world joins hands across North America and we all watch as one. That magic carpet ride begins right now. Mexico kicks off the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The Mexicans in green shirts, white numbers, red socks. They'll attack from our left to our right in this first half. South Africa in yellow shirts, green numbers, yellow shorts, bright yellow socks. And what will we be watching out for early, Matt, in your opinion, from the Mexican side?
Well, they're going to probably keep the ball as much as possible in this early phase. If they could nick an early goal, as we saw in the Champions League final that could, a couple of weeks ago here in Europe, that could make all the difference to the way the game is played out. But the Mexicans come in as a strong favourite to win, as I said before, not just this game, but the group. They will want to get off to a fast start if they can in front of this fanatical and very vocal and very green home support.
Johan Vasquez has the ball at his feet, left of the center circle, touchback towards him by Eric Lira, and Vasquez trickles it up the far touchline. Alvaro Fidalgo, who plays domestically in Spain, returns it back into the middle and into that center circle for Cesar Montes, who plays at Lokomotiv Moscow in Russia. A lot of players, Matt, on this squad that do play domestically in Mexico, but a lot of others, still a good number at least, that play in Europe.
Yeah, indeed. Plenty have either been in Europe and gone back or are still, a smattering of those throughout the Mexican team. But they've lost possession here, and South Africa will get their first couple of comfort touches here with the ball at their feet. It's gone all the way back to Williams in the goal, and they will try and build out from the back.
Now, Mexico never really did have a touch in the attacking third. South Africa has taken it away, and now they will possess for the first time. And up the far channel, they'll see what they're able to play out here. It's a feeling out process, I'm sure, for them, more than Mexico even, as Ronwin Williams has it come back to him, sends it up the left-hand side. Bekezeli Bokazi has it here on the left-hand side before dropping it back to Ime Okan, and then back for Ronwin Williams, who on his right foot has to get it away as the Mexicans were starting to pressure, and he flashes it up the left-hand side off a body off Aubrey Modiba and out for a Mexican throw.
Good bit of pressure there early to worry the South African goalkeeper. Javier Iguere is the Mexican coach. And he, I'm sure, is very proud to be the Mexican coach for this opening game in his host nation. Ball back in play, and Mexico are going to win a free kick here. Alvarado was sived down, and this is a good chance for an early opportunity here for Mexico to put some pressure on South Africa.
Alvarado fouled, chopped down by Modiba, and Mexico with the first free kick. As we say hi in the comment section to our good friend Christian Malley joining us along with Plug NBA Finals. Glad to have you all with us. Mexico with a free kick, 35 yards from goal, right of center of the top of the box, and two men are over it, including Roberto Alvarado, and waiting for the Brazilian referee's whistle as this will be served in. Right-footed and into a two-man South African wall. It ricochets out for a Mexican throw.
Yeah, good opportunity to get players forward there for Mexico, but not used, and that will be a nice reprieve for South Africa that they didn't really have to defend that free kick in any way, shape or form. It was basically a straight out of play from it.
So Mexico will toss in on the near side, in by Israel Reyes, where it could be nudged back by Alvarado. Right of the area, cross comes in, and a strike towards goal is parried away by Williams, who eliminates the first Mexican chance from Raul Jimenez. Corner to Mexico.
Yeah, good left-footed strike from Jimenez by the penalty spot. He was left open, and Williams nicely down to his right-hand side to palm it past the right-hand post for the first corner of the tournament.
So Mexico with a corner coming from the far flag. An in-swinger put in tight. Williams came out to punch. He didn't get it very far away. It's served back towards the far post, up into the air off of Bokazi. It's still available in dangerous areas. And finally, it's cleared out of the box, but Mexico are still into an interesting position. But now South Africa have gotten it away, and it's Ikram Reiners who gets it out to the middle of the field, and here comes South Africa. They may have caught Mexico on a counter here, but the ball rolled into the box at the other end from Lyle. Foster is scooped up by Rangel.
Yeah, perhaps a bit of miscommunication, or they got a bit giddy at the front there, South Africa, with the early breakaway, but it's come to nothing. There's a replay of the Jimenez strike. He might be very fruitful for this Mexican team in this tournament. They will need him to be their big number 9.
Well, Mexico survived that South African counter, and let's see what they can put together now. Right at the center circle, it's Lira. Diagonal feed using the width of the pitch here to Jesus Gallardo. Tried to trickle one forward. South Africa there. And Satoli will push it forward, and here comes South Africa, Matt, on an attack that doesn't last very long.
Yeah, Foster trying to find Reiners out on the sort of right channel, but it overplayed the pass and out for a throw in.
Mexico throw in from the far side in their own half. And they obviously look very interested in scoring an early goal, Matt. I know that sounds Captain Obvious, but they would also believe that they are the favored team. They know that they are here. Although they do want to respect their opponent, they know they're the favored team. They want to get out in front early, not give South Africa a chance to get into the second half or in towards the hour mark with life.
Yeah, if it gets to that far into the game and we're still at 0-0 or even at 1-1 by the time we get there, then South Africa will feel that they have a chance to maybe nick something out of it, and that would perhaps upset the apple cart in Group A in the opening game of the tournament. Here is Alvaro on the left-hand wing for Mexico, trying to make something happen, and he's pushed out of play, and it'll be a corner kick, I believe.
I believe you're right.
Madu out there, number 20, and I think he might have been actually given as a goal kick. Yeah, it has.
Yep, you're right. Thought it was a corner, but it has been given goal kick for South Africa, Matt.
Yeah, Kausi Madua out there, one of the many Mamelodi Sundowns players, not just in the South African squad, but in the starting 11 here this afternoon.
South Africa has forced another goal kick as the long ball forward was deflected out, so Williams will do it again. This time short to his right, and it'll be thumped into the midfield here off of a Mexican head up in the air and up for grabs on the far side, escorted out by Jesus Gallardo in his third World Cup appearance, Mexico with a throw. We talk about a feeling out process, Matt. What is that going to be like for a Mexico team with all these expectations and playing at home against a team that everyone believes they should romp?
Yeah, indeed, as they've just given the ball away. It's gone out on the far side for a South African throw in. They should romp, but there's going to be nerves, isn't there, for these players? As you mentioned, it wasn't a good Qatar for them 3.5 years ago, and now they come back and they're at home in front of this support that will want them to go on and clear the group easily, win well today. And it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. We're only 8 minutes into the game, plenty of chances and things that could happen, and there might be one of them.
And an opportunity, a goal, and it's struck in for the opening goal of the World Cup. Julian Quinones for Mexico. A terrible South African turnover, and it's come right to perhaps the best Mexican goal striker on the squad, Julian Quinones. And Mexico are off and running in the 2026 World Cup.
The bench erupts. They're on their feet around the stadium and around the country. Just not great defending there from South Africa at all, trying to be too cute with it around the edge of their own penalty area from Williams, the goalkeeper. His short ball puts his centre back under pressure, and the poor first touch, and he was pounced upon, and the ball ended up at the feet of Quinones, and he slides home to put Mexico in front inside 10 minutes.
Gone
through
right
the legs of the goalkeeper, in fact.
Right between the legs of Ronwen Williams, and it was South Africa trying to play it out of the back here that has forced a takeaway, and Quinones, who led the Saudi Pro League in goals last season, Matt, who has the opening goal. I mentioned how he may be the best goal scorer on this team. He certainly was in the Saudi Pro League last season, Matt, besting the likes of Ivan Toney and Cristiano Ronaldo to be the highest goal scorer in that league.
Yeah, we know all about, of course, we all know all about Cristiano Ronaldo. That's only his third goal for his country. And what a time to score it, 10 minutes into the tournament.
And when scoring first in the history of the World Cup, Matt, Mexico with a 14-3-5 record. They've already scored half the amount of goals that they did in the entirety of the World Cup 4 years ago.
Quinones is now on the floor after a little bit of a rash challenge over on the far side by one of the South African midfielders. The Mexicans crowd the referee, which you're not supposed to be doing in this World Cup as part of one of the many new rules packages brought in for this tournament. But looks to be up and okay now. Going to be a Mexican free kick just inside the South African half, way over there on the far side.
Well, the look of Hugo Bruce, Matt, is a look of what have we gotten ourselves into?
Yes, indeed. Pensive, perhaps you might say. And he perhaps knew this would come at some point. Perhaps didn't think he would get more than 10 minutes into the tournament without going behind. But that has come. And now you would imagine this game might play out a little bit more differently. Mexico will want to keep the ball, perhaps press home their advantage. They don't need to go out and win 6 or 7-0. It is just all about making sure you pick up the 3 points here this afternoon.
Obviously, if they have the opportunity to go for more goals, Matt, they absolutely will, because something that we haven't yet touched on, we have touched on third-place teams advancing in this World Cup, but obviously if you win your group, you'll be playing a third place team in the round of 32, the brand new round. So goal difference could make a difference there. Is a long ball hoisted up the left-hand side. Raul Jimenez just got to it but could not control it. It's out for a Mexican corner.
Yeah, there's 5 groups that could possibly face the winner of this group. So there's no point really talking about the permutations at this stage until we're certainly through the end of game week 1, group round 1, whatever we're calling it, this tournament. So we'll worry about that as we go down the road. But chance here perhaps for a Mexican double advantage from this corner on the far side.
See what happens with the corner here, Matt.
Here it comes in left-footed. It was towards Jimenez. He jumped highest, but it went straight up in the air, and an easy pick for Rowan Williams by his right-hand post.
So if you are just joining us and you can see Mexico is ahead, it's an early goal from Julian Quinones as South Africa try to get forward into the offensive end quickly, but it rolls all the way back to the Mexican goaltender Rangel. Again, that is Raul Rangel in goal for Mexico, not Guillermo Ochoa, the Mexican hero that is on this roster at 40 years of age. He says he will retire from the sport after this tournament winds down, but Rangel, Matt, has been moved to the starter in the tune-up games, and as we've talked about, they haven't lost any of them, so they go with the 26-year-old over the 40-year-old to start this World Cup. They'll likely stay with him throughout, you would imagine, as the ball pinballs around in the midfield here.
Yeah, Ochoa had actually made the squad to begin with, but there was a change through injury which brought him back. So 152 caps to his name, which is a remarkable number in itself. And if he happens to get on, he'll probably be the 3rd choice. But what a great man to have in the dressing room with so much experience as the ball goes long down the right-hand side, but out for another Mexican throw-in.
Lisu Mudau could not control it cleanly with the first touch. South Africa chasing this game. Not where they wanted to be early, because we don't anticipate this to be a squad that can churn out a lot of goals in this tournament. The throw-in up the far side for Jimenez, who tried to finesse it back in towards the middle. Mexican goes down. Foul is called here. And yeah, eventually, you're right.
Like the referee was going to play on there and then pulled it back, and it's Mokoena, the number 13, with the foul, and he was giving the calm down gesture to some of the South African players in this early stage. 15 minutes played in the World Cup of 2026. We're seeing our first goal in replay on screens on the World Feed from Ref Cam. It's gone Mexico's way.
Mexico with a free kick, which they have. Israel Reyes moves up the near flank, and with a nice low ball through up the right-hand side, finds Brian Gutierrez from the right of the penalty area. He's surrounded by a couple of South African defenders, including Bekazeli Bokazi, who was taken to ground by Gutierrez. That's a foul. It'll be a South African throw. Free kick, rather.
Yeah, indeed, good covering there from those 2 South African defenders on this near side, and they will win the back. What they want, South Africa, now is just to not concede again in the next 10 to 15 minutes, get some kind of foothold in the game, because we haven't really seen often that half chance, but here they might get something going. Here's Foster, and they will play it around here inside the Mexican half, and it's going to go out wide.
Out wide on the right-hand side, Kulisu Mudau was looking for someone to serve that ball into. Instead, he's gone flat back to the middle. Satoli plays it to the left-hand side. Bokazi's ball in was ricocheted away by a Mexican defender. It comes back out to Modiba, trickled up the left-hand touchline. Bokazi again to try to serve one in. Mexico's there. Gutierrez couldn't clear it very far away, but we're going to have a South African foul given by Teboho Mokoena, and he's going to be given the first yellow card of this tournament, Matt, for a takedown. And the yellow card matches the yellow shirt of the 29-year-old midfielder Teboho Mokoena.
Yep, he'll be the unfortunate man to be the first person in the referee's book in this tournament. And it was Hidalgo, the number 8, trying to skip away from him there in the midfield, but was sived down, and so Mexico will get the game back underway.
So forward they come. Ball intended for Quinones was knocked free, and South Africa's forced to take away here, Matt.
Yeah, they've got the ball back and a bit more field position, perhaps, to use a NFL phrase. They've got a bit more of an attacking shape to them, but the Mexican press will push them back, and it's going to go all the way back to Williams inside the South African penalty area, the goalkeeper.
Christian Malley in the comments, as I mentioned, and he does mention, yes, exactly. We do have a player on this South Africa squad that does play domestically in Germany. Mokoena with the ball in. It looked like a good ball in, but it's beyond anyone in a yellow shirt all the way down to Ranhel. It goes. That's Ime Okan, who plays at Hanover out in Germany. The brother of a South African sprinter, Udeme Okan.
Very sporty family, clearly, in the Ocon household.
Not a sporty family in the Owens household. Not here.
Yeah, just a sport watching family.
Indeed.
Use that in the White household as well.
Ball at the feet of Ranhel, the Mexican goalkeeper wearing a vibrant pink shirt. Now he sends a long ball forward. Raul Jimenez nudged it forward. No one in green on the receiving end of it. So South Africa will control. Mudal sends it back to Williams, the goalkeeper. This sport, they call it goalkeepers. The sport that I've been doing for the last 2 months and doing later tonight, they call them goaltenders.
Yeah, I did pick up on you. You mentioned chicken tenders there before. As Mexico get it back with Alvaro on the halfway line, and try and make something happen here. And it's going to be Alvaro down this right-hand side, the 25, and he'll play a nice little pass inside to Gutierrez. He gets it back. Here's Gutierrez again. A couple of Mexicans inside the penalty area if they can pick out a cross in towards the centre, and a shot comes in from distance and wide and over the bar from, that was Quinones again, the goal scorer.
Tried to hit the top right corner, did Quinones. Hasn't missed it by a million miles. Again,
no, it looked further away on the initial shot than the replays are showing us now.
First World Cup for Quinones, who, as I mentioned, outscored a lot of big hitters in that Saudi Pro League this season. Originally born in Colombia was Quinones, who played for the club that placed 4th in the Saudi Pro League this season. South Africa will try to get forward as we have a foul on the near side from the center circle. Lyle Foster was taken down. Free kick coming South Africa here. And the yellow shirts will move forward. From our right to our left, they attack in this first half. The very bright yellow shirts and shorts with green numbers on the back, played all the way back to Williams, Matt, as we strike 20 minutes.
Yes, you can see why the South Africans have gone with that colour scheme. It's not particularly brilliant for us broadcasters trying to pick up the numbers on the back of the South African shirts, it must be said. But here they come forward now with a child given away, and Mexico will have a chance to get that back under control. But there was options on there for South Africa, but they did not use them correctly, and in fact they've now given away a free kick.
Montez was the one that took it away. He then got shouldered down by Mudal, who is given the foul on Cesar Montez, who scored 3 goals in last year's CONCACAF Gold Cup that Mexico went on to win.
Again, the Brazilian referee just telling some of the South African players to keep their cool here.
Well, obviously they're already a bit anxious, Matt. It has not been a good start.
No, they arrived at the stadium in fantastic spirit a couple of hours ago, singing their way in, as has become a custom with the South Africans at a World Cup. We saw that in 2010. They're at it again here today. Here's Alvarado down this right-hand side for Mexico. Left-footed cross, headed away from the South African defender at the penalty spot because Jimenez was in behind there with a chance to get Mexico a double lead, but didn't quite reach him. The ball has gone out on this near side touchline for a throw in.
That was an incredible attempt at a clearance. threw his whole
There's
body into it. Believe it was Ikram Rainers.
there was a threesome sitting watching the game there. Roberto Baggio, Roberto Carlos, and Ruud Gullit all sat together. Not in the cheap seats, let's put it that way.
So South Africa will try to build from the back again here, Matt.
Indeed, with Williams, and he'll sling it out to this left-hand side. Long ball forward, looking to get Reyners in behind. Oh, Rangel's fumbled that one, and he'll have to scramble. Reyners with a chance to cross. It's blocked by the Mexican defender who clears. There's appeals for handball. Referees waved that away.
That was Gallardo who got in the way. And South Africa are still in possession up the far touchline. Mokoena goes down, and there's a foul given. Now we've hit the 22-minute mark, which is the hydration break. I thought it was supposed to be the hydration break mark of each half, as a yellow card has just been given to Brian Gutierrez on the challenge against Mokoena.
Yeah, I think it's the next time the ball goes out of play or a stoppage from that point. They're not going to just stop the game. It is going to be done at stoppages, and that was a foul by Gutierrez. Oh, I'm not sure there was a massive amount of contact there, has to be said, especially as Mokoena looked to his left and saw he had no real options and then decided to go down. But chance here for South Africa to get themselves at least a sight of goal from this free kick, which is going to be just to the right of the penalty area. And it's going to be who's going to stand over it.
So, chance here for South Africa. They've been outplayed through the first half of this first half. But Mokoena from Bethlehem, South Africa, with an opportunity to serve a good ball in. All you need is one moment of magic, as we know. So here is Mokoena, parallel to the top right corner of the penalty area, Matt, for his ball in.
Yeah, one-man wall. It's just there's a bit of a distraction. Here comes Mokoena. He steps up, flings it in towards Foster, but there was a Mexican head that got to it first. And South Africa will try and recycle this back into the penalty area. And again, Mexico defend nicely, and it breaks to Quinones on this left-hand side. His clearance is blocked, and the ball will spin out for a Mexican goal kick. And I believe that is going to be the point that we have our first hydration break stoppage.
So that was interesting because the wording there was exactly at 22 minutes. We'll learn as we go.
They certainly didn't do that in the England friendly yesterday, but that, of course, was a friendly and not part of the tournament. But we will learn as we go. This is new for all of us, and we didn't broadcast the Club World Cup last summer, where that was a major feature, sort of new feature. But this is the first. It's going to be at every game, isn't it? Including the ones that are played indoors. Is that correct?
I believe that is correct, which I don't quite understand.
No. But here we are. So then, 25 minutes into the opening game of the tournament, Mexico lead. A goal on the 8th minute from Julian Quinones. We're getting a replay of it now on the world feed. The first game of the tournament, the first game, of course, that means in Group A. And the second game in this group will be the second game today, tonight, tomorrow, wherever you are around the world, as a nice time for the South Koreans in terms of time zone for them, as they play a very untimely time for Czechia as the European team in this group. That's the other side of this Group A draw, which is game 2 of the tournament.
By the way, if you are indeed watching us and listening, you can see top right of your screen. I can never point the right direction. Top right of your screen, the clock is continuing to run. It will do. The clock will continuously run during these hydration breaks. Don't ask why, because these are 3-minute long hydration breaks. I feel it would almost just be easier on us all, Matt, if we just stopped the clock.
Yes, I understand your thinking, but I've never seen a game clock stopped in unless players were off the field for whatever reason, or of course, if there's a stoppage for lightning and weather and all sorts of factors, that not a factor today, but perhaps will be a thing as this tournament goes on. So we're going to have at least 3 minutes added on in each half to every game in this tournament, at least.
But we are ready. Yeah, we are ready for play to restart. It's been dropped by Rangel in the Mexican penalty area. And once the Brazilian referee whistle blows, we will start the second quarter of the opening match of the World Cup.
American phraseology for an American tournament. Very good. The ball has been given.
I don't know what happened on your end. Fox went to a full-on commercial. Ian Dark had to be thinking, "What are we doing?"
ITV were telling us about their competition to win tickets to the final. As the wave has begun inside the Azteca, it's the first spotting of that during this tournament. It's only taken us 27 minutes. They must be bored already. Ball forward from South Africa. Looking to get over the top was Foster, but it's been defended nicely by Mexico. Gutierrez trying to get it away. He now loses out. South Africa have the ball back with Mendoza, the number 14, at about the halfway line.
Now played on back towards the center circle. Ime Okan, who we were talking about earlier, plays domestically in Germany. Angle to the far side where Mudau tried to give it up and instead has given it up to the Mexican defense. And here comes Mexico with bodies rolling forward. Left-hand side, it's Quinones. There's arms up from South Africans as they wanted the offside flag up. Hasn't gone up yet, as we know it could go up later. But now that Mexico has slowed down the pace here, they'll continue play going. Quinones on the far touchline will send it back into the Mexican half. And all the way back, it'll go to Rangel and a reset for Mexico.
Yeah, not quite having the right angles and players in positions. Alvaro on this side was screaming for the ball with his arms in the air, but it didn't quite come his way. Mexico, as we say, will try again. 56% possession for them through this just under first half an hour.
Start going towards the final third again. Quinones has rolled a nice ball in to the left side of the penalty area, trying to get on his right foot. Gutierrez tries a shot. It's rubbed out by the South African defense. Mudau will get it away.
Going to get Reyners through on goal, but it's too long for him, and it goes all the way through to Rangel in the Mexican penalty area.
So Mexico in their own end and now crossing the halfway line. Fidalgo back to Quinones, who they're targeting early. Long diagonal ball sent this way. Alvarado will try to muscle it down. He has. Finessed on back for Reyes to serve a ball in. Snatched with two hands by Williams as he went airborne to meet the ball.
Only a couple of Mexican targets in the area there for Reyes, and he didn't find any of them. And again, South Africa living dangerously on the edge of their penalty area. Alvaro was on the spot there, the number 25 for Mexico, but he just couldn't wrestle the ball away. And South Africa now will calmly try again to see if they can get this out of the penalty area. Williams loves a short ball. Chances are he's going to get nicked again at some point, and he can clearly hear me from here because he's now punted that one along.
Jimenez pressuring. See, I'm mixing sports today. I could have said Jimenez forechecking, but that would make no sense to the soccer crowd around here on the forecheck. But anyway, Mexico will start again from our left to our right. Gallardo sends it towards the middle. That was parried away by Okan and sent back to Williams again. The goalkeeper for South Africa, the captain of this South African squad for just about 5 full calendar years now, holds it at his right foot. And again, we'll send it short up the middle. They don't like a lot of long balls forward, do they?
No, they don't. And they've given the ball away again. Have South Africa, Alvaro in to nick it, and he's played it back to his goalkeeper at the other end of the field. So fairly end-to-end stuff here, but not in an attacking sense, let's say.
Montez hoisting it long. No one there in green. Taken by Sabisi. And in the center circle, Satoli now. Flares it out to his left for Okan. Sent back up wide on the left-hand side. Taken at the halfway line by Bokazi. Again then for Okan. A bit of pressure comes from Jimenez. Sent back to Williams, maybe a bit lackadaisically, where he could toss it up the left-hand side for Bokazi. But Mexico are getting a little bit more aggressive with their pressure here because they're seeing what we're seeing here, Matt, and now it's being played by the feet of the goalkeeper, Williams, outside of the penalty area.
Yeah, and they're not seem to be particularly confident on the ball in these short passing areas. There's a long ball forward here, though, chance.
And the ball
It's
sent
going to be
towards Modiba.
blocked. Yeah, and his cross was blocked, and it'll be a South African corner. In fact, no, it won't because he was offside from the initial
I was
ball
going to
forward.
say, I feel like that may have been offside.
Yeah, did wonder why there wasn't such a hurry to get the corner sorted in terms of positioning. So Modiba offside, and Mexico will have the free kick.
If you're new to the channel, you like what you see, more importantly, you like what you hear, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. We just crossed over 1,000 subscribers. We thank everyone for
Indeed.
their assistance in getting us to quadruple digits. Glad to have you with us. We've got a World Cup doubleheader on the channel for you as later tonight. It will be Czechia and South Korea, the other two teams from this Group A. That will square off in Guadalajara, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Seth Eves on the call for you there. Of course, later tonight, as you've been seeing scrolling through on the bottom of your screen, we'll have Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. The series lead on the line tonight between Carolina and Vegas. South Africa with a throw-in on the far side after Mexico gave it away. And now Bokazi in the center circle plays it laterally to his right. Ocon then for Mokoena, who's been in the middle of a lot in this half. And South Africa towards the penalty area here with Lyle Foster, who could not get control of it cleanly as he tried to flare it out for Mudau. It's behind him and out. And that's a poor South African takeaway, Matt. That's the best we've seen them, the furthest we've seen them break in.
Yeah, indeed. So more FIFA luminaries in the stands. Spot your favourite players today, but Lyle Foster couldn't get that under control just inside the D there, and it bounced out for a Mexican throw. South Africa try and put some pressure on here to try and win the ball back in that half of the field, but it's gone long towards Jimenez, who got a nice touch onto Gutierrez, who can now break across the centre circle. You've got Alvadara on this near side touchline to pick it up with his left foot, and he'll play another pass out here towards the corner flag. And the South African defender was across to nick in Mokwezi, sorry, and it's gone out for a Mexican throw.
Good play by Bokazi to chop it away from Reyes, who will take this throw in the 35th minute. 1-0 Mexico. Through the goal by Julian Quinones. Tossed in, top right corner of the box. Alvarado flicked it back. Gutierrez got it to the middle of the field. Fidalgo flares it out left. This is Quinones, the goal scorer, rolling it in. Left side of the penalty area. The ball sent towards goal and claimed by Williams as he stretches out.
Good take from the goalkeeper, because if that had gone past him, there was two Mexican players ready to pretty much have a tap in. Jimenez being one of them, Alvadaro the other. The ball's gone long up the other end, but out for a throw-in to Mexico, just about in line with their penalty area from the quick clearance from Williams, but it didn't come to anything.
Julian Quinones in the 9th minute, getting Mexico on top, where they have stayed since.
He'll be the trivia question for the next little while. Who was the man that scored the first goal in the 2026 World Cup? Of course, you mentioned Korea and Czechia to come later tonight in this group, and then tomorrow it's all about the other hosts, Canada against Bosnia, and the US in action as well against Paraguay. 2 matches tomorrow in the tournament, and they are both right here on this channel.
You can see bottom of your screen. All of those games on that lineup will be here on the channel. Our guy JT behind the scenes has cooked, and we have our bottom scroll now telling you upcoming events here on the channel, including everything World Cup related. Canada and Bosnia-Herzegovina is tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. London Time, 9 p.m. European. Did I get all of that? I know I'm not getting everything down there, but I'll be here forever if we list all the time zones. Mexico sends it back to Rangel. Thrusted ball up the middle, headed down by a South African head. Mexico's really quickly back on possession with Gallardo. That Canada and Bosnia opener at BMO Field in Toronto. South Africa takeaway middle of the field, Matt.
Yeah, indeed. It was a poor touch from Gutierrez, and it's given South Africa the ball back, but they couldn't do anything with the first opportunity to get forward. Here's Madiba, the number 20, who's had a lot of the ball, the right back, on the far side. He touches it inside, and it comes across to Basie, the number 14. Chance for him to float it in towards Foster, and his header from just down the right-hand side of the penalty spot is wide. So South Africa's first chance took a long time to come, but unfortunately for Foster, it is off target.
Lyle Foster, who scored 3 goals in the Premier League at Burnley last season and has been there since 2023, with the opportunity, more than likely, the main target of all of the defenders for South African opponents in this tournament. South Africa back on the ball. Left of the center circle, Bokazi sends it ahead, taken by Jaden Adams from Cape Town. And then off to the far side, Sabisi floats it up that far touchline. Mexico's there to secure possession. 38 minutes complete, as you're about to see the clock tick into, and Mexico will begin from the back. I was mentioning Toronto, the site for the opener between Canada and Bosnia tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, then very late in Europe, 9 p.m. Eastern time here in the United States at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. The United States open up their World Cup account against Paraguay. a.m. UK, 3 a.m. for the rest of the Europeans out there that perhaps are listening to us. Matt White will be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed as he wakes up at 2 a.m. to watch the Americans take on Paraguay.
Sure. There's a big chance I might get up on Sunday morning at 5 a.m. to watch Australia-Turkey. Turkey, sorry.
Turkey,
There's a chance I actually do that. But yeah, looking forward to that game tomorrow up in Toronto as Canada. That would be a good one for a team that has, that has no World Cup history at all. We've got Lira down here for Mexico, by the way. The referee has stopped play. You've got a bit of a dead leg there by the looks of things.
He got bulldozed by Satoli.
Back up on his feet now. And Mexico will get us back underway as we approach 5 minutes to go in this first half.
And then, of course, to the bottom right of your screen, you can see our first Saturday match on the channel will be Qatar and Switzerland. That'll also be in California at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara by the San Francisco area. Ball pinballing around here from the right of the center circle. Mexico's come away with it. The sun has popped out as Gutierrez tries to pop a pass up the near side. Alvarado was the target, hacked away from him. A Mexican throw coming.
Yeah, indeed. So, right in front of the benches. And Javier Guerra on his feet down there. In fact, both coaches patrolling their technical areas. But I think the Mexican bench will be fairly happy as the ball is put under pressure there. Rangel in the Mexican goal. He clears. They'll be fairly happy if they can get through here to half time and stay in front. They'd be even happier if they can get a second. And they will try to do that here as the ball is out on the left-hand side. They will slow it back down again.
They went up 1-0, have not been attacking since. They are here on a ball forked between two defenders. South Africa's been able to nudge it a bit further away, but Mexico are still in the attacking half here. On the left-hand side, Jesus Gallardo into the middle for Quinones, who's going to be a big target for Mexico this entire tournament. Laid it off for Alvarado. Played out wide on the right-hand side. Reyes, top right corner of the penalty area. Back into the middle mat for Alvarado, who plays catch with Israel Reyes.
Indeed, and it's been put towards the penalty area, looking for Quinones on the far side, but he's slipped. It's come back in towards Jimenez, and the flick on is saved very well by Williams diving in his left-hand side. I'm not sure Jimenez got the full contact on that. It was a nice idea, and he actually would have been probably pulled back by VAR for offside anyway. I mean, well, he got sort of an outside to the foot, just trying to help it on its way with anything, but a sharp stop by Williams nevertheless.
South Africa avoids an opportunity there, as Matt said, might have been brushed back for offside, but Mexico are back on it. Quinones is galloping right up the middle of the field, 25 yards from goal. He has a go. It glances off a South African defender. Mexico's still there. It comes back to Quinones, who's pushed it off of the goalpost, and South Africa try to scramble it away. Can they do it with Bokazi?
No, he's been fouled by Alvarado. Yeah, referee's going to pull that back. Well, two real decent chances there in the last couple of minutes as we head towards the end of this first half. Quinones' first attempt was blocked. It found its way back to him and a lovely side-footed shot. Just the wrong side of Williams' post. He was beaten. The post was not.
Woodwork comes to the rescue for Ronwen Williams in South Africa, who have at least provided enough thoughts that perhaps they could draw back level, Matt, if they can keep it where it is now. But from 2-0 down, you would probably say curtains.
Yeah, they really need to get through these last, well, maybe 5 or so minutes, including the added on time here to the end of the first half. At this scoreline, at best, if they can snatch one back, then that would be perfect for them. But they've lost possession just inside the Mexican half, and here they come again. Just inside the South African half, long ball forward, looking for Jimenez. He's the only man forward, and that's going to be marshalled nicely by the South African defenders, and they'll have a chance to recycle.
See if they can go forward here at all from the center circle. Mokoena sends it up the right-hand side. Now it's to Ikram Rainers, who leaves it out wide on the right. Ball attempted to be served in, is blocked away by Gallardo, and that trickles over the touchline. South Africa will have a corner won by Mudau. Chance here, Matt.
Interesting to see how they attack this. How many people will they throw forward? Good chance for the generally taller defenders on the attacking team to get forward.
Let's see what happens here as some South Africans begin to queue up in the penalty area, Matt.
It's gone short, and a chance to get put back in and headed away. I think that was Gutierrez in the middle of all of that mess to get it clear. And a long-range shot from a long, long way out by Mkwazi had Rangel scrambling to his left-hand side, but it was a fairly comfortable stop. Saw that coming all the way, and speculative effort, let's say, from the number 14.
On target, but
it was.
As you said, Rangel seen it coming from Bekazeli Bokazi, who plays in the United States in Major League Soccer with the Chicago Fire, not the television show. He signed with them in December, just 7 months ago. We are into, as you see, top right of your screen, the 45th minute of this opening half. Mexico leading 1-0. 9th minute goal from Julian Quinones has Mexico in front. South Africa has struggled to churn out some possibilities to get forward to equalize. Now a ball sent up the left-hand side for Quinones. Off his line confidently and quickly was Williams, who slaps it away. And Mexico will reload as 45 minutes are complete, and it's 4 minutes that's been added on.
So 3 for the hydration stoppage. And 1 extra seems pretty much about spot on from what we've seen. There's not been any injury stoppages to worry about, or VAR stoppages, or referee going to the screen, any of that nonsense / business, whatever you prefer is your preferred verbiage there in this first half of the first game of the tournament. If we can get through as many games as we can in this tournament without having the dreaded 3 letters of VAR get involved, that'll be lovely.
Really would. All the way back to Rangel, and he will hoist
a lot of people.
A long ball up the right-hand side, Matt. It's for Jimenez, who's flicked it on up the right-hand side, hoping for Alvarado. It's kept away from him and swept out of play by Bokazi. Throw in coming that Alvarado looks to take quickly, but he won't.
He's going to dump that one to Reyes. And the referee counts. They don't want to take too long over throw-ins in this tournament. It's been put in towards Jimenez. He's found Gallardo, the left back forward. His shot, Sting was taken out of it by a block, and it's gone all the way through to Williams in the South African goal.
Minute and a half into the 4 added on minutes, as you see top right of your screen. We say it every Sunday when we do a NASCAR race around here. You will not get the radio people out of us. We're too used to it for the last 8 years. So, yes, you can see how much time has been added on, and you can see how much of that time added on has elapsed. But we will continue to tell you, for those perhaps that's only listening to us, maybe at work, as a long diagonal right to left, and for the left of the penalty area. Good first touch from Aubrey Modiba has kept this alive. He's tumbled over the top of Alvarado, but he's kept his feet here. And Modiba, from the left of the penalty area, jerks out to his left and has it knocked away by Alvarado. It's over the inline, Matt, and will that be a goal kick or a corner?
Signal for a goal kick. It should be a corner looking at that on the replay.
Well, we're in America. We're in America, Matt. We've already brought in quarters to the World Cup. Give them a coach's challenge each half to review.
Well, indeed, that should be the next stage of VAR, to be honest. But in not just in this tournament, but in world football. And corner not given, and the goal kick has gone long from Rangel, flick on by Jimenez, and it's gone all the way through to Rowan Williams in the South African goal. He will throw it out right-handed. And South Africa, perhaps, if they can keep possession here, one more chance before the half. And they've given it away, as I say.
Taking it away, and perhaps they'll have one more opportunity before the half here, Matt, with Quinones, who cuts from left to right, slides the ball into Gutierrez, into the penalty area, tried to flick it to the far post for Jimenez, who did not break towards the ball.
Who it looked like got all excited and wasn't sure what foot to hit that with, and ended up scuffing with the outside of his right boot. Nowhere near goal. Williams was scrambling, but had that fairly covered, I think, to his left-hand side. And the ball rolls out for a goal kick.
It'll likely be it for the half, as you wouldn't think South Africa would try to attack here in the last 20 seconds, but I've been wrong many times before, and I'm going to be wrong here as well, because Bokazi has taken this ball and lashed it up the left-hand side into the Mexican end. It's a long run for Reyners to get to. He hasn't.
Couldn't stop it from going for a throw. And the referee's still not blown for half-time, so we will play on here with a Mexican throw right down by their own corner flag in this near side corner of the stadium.
There it is.
In fact, is the halftime whistle.
So we hit halftime at the Estadio Azteca in Mexico City. Mexico through a 9th-minute goal from Julian Quinones, ahead of South Africa 1-0. They were not ahead of South Africa at any point of the match these two played in the opener in 2010. They're up at the half here, as you see, 1-0 Mexico at the half in this World Cup opener from Group A. Julian Quinones with the difference makers. We say hi in the comments to our good friend Jarek Rubel, who's joining us tonight, and hopefully sidestepping some weather challenges his way tonight. It is summer in the United States, as the rest of the world is about to figure out. So, halftime and some early thoughts from the first 45 from you, Matt White.
It's felt more like March here where I am today than June, it has to be said. Thoughts on the first half? Well, good early goal for the Mexicans. They needed that one to sort of settle the nerves, perhaps, as we kind of touched on in the opening minutes, and they did get that through Quinones, who certainly we had spoken about in the week building up to this game as one of the people to watch for Mexico. And you touched on his goal scoring record in the Saudi Pro League this season has been exemplary, and he was the man that got the goal. South Africa not really threatened. There was one sort of half chance late on in that first half for Lyle Foster with his head, which skewed wide. They've looked a bit jittery at the back, though, the South Africans. Plenty of chances for Mexico to pick them off, use a steal, perhaps, using some more American phraseology in possession. But it looks like a fairly open game in terms of that. Been that one or a couple of sort of half chances, really. The header and that long range shot from McBasey after the free kick, after the corner. But Rangel has not really been tested in the Mexican goal, let's say that.
No, he has not. So, halftime here in Mexico City. I'm waiting for a DM behind the scenes from JT. um, so I will waffle through all bring in a third contributor here as we hit and Seth Eves, who will be on with you later tonight on the channel at 10 p.m. Eastern Time for the matchup between South Korea and Czechia, the other two teams in this group. Seth Eves joining us here for halftime. And Seth, great to have you with us. What'd you think of the first 45 here? Before I even get to that, I'm not even going to get to that first, Seth. I want to welcome you in. I want to say Happy World Cup to you, my friend.
Yes. Happy World Cup to everybody involved. Matthew, Matt, JT. It's been an adventure, but then again, wasn't the whole build up to this World Cup for some people an adventure in its own right? So we're just trying to fit in with the crowd, I suppose. Atmosphere is off the charts, as you would imagine, and I think this has kind of gone how it's expected. Mexico's kind of bossed this, and I think this is how everybody was expecting this. South Africa, the lowest ranked team in this group, and one of the lower ranked teams in this tournament. But we'll see. They did show brief moments where they could hit you on the counterattack, but the passing's not great, and their defending also leaves a little to be desired. And Mexico will probably feel like they will want to push for a second goal very quickly in the second half, I would think.
Seth, you've got the call later tonight. The other two teams from Group A, South Korea and Czechia. Two-pronged question here. One, what do you expect from that game and those two teams tonight? And then secondly, how overall do you view Group A?
It's interesting, this game tonight. Obviously, South Korea have they're kind of like, I feel like them and Japan both have kind of mirrored the U.S. in terms of really didn't know a whole lot about their prowess in this particular sport. Then they host a World Cup, and they've kind of been, if anything else, consistent mainstays. And I'm excited to see what they can do. Obviously, I do believe that this is a good team. It's a bit of an old team. Son obviously is with Son Heung-min, of course, he'll have no problem with the Heat. I mean, he plays in the U.S. now.
In Los Angeles.
I was going to say that tells you how undesirable Tottenham is. He wanted to go to MLS. But anyway,
there we go.
Off and running. But yeah, I'm excited to see South Korea. I'm also excited to see this Czechia squad as well. Obviously, you have South Korea also have Kim Min-jae, who plays for Bayern Munich, so he'll be one to watch. Pike Sung-ho, some of you know him from Birmingham. Hwang Hee-chan, of course, from recently relegated Wolverhampton Wanderers. So I'll be curious to see how they look. And then you have Czechia, and it's hard to believe because you see them at the Euros all the time. It's hard to believe this is the first time since 2006 they've been at the World Cup. That is just very, very hard to believe that it's the first time. But of course, you think about them, you think about Patrick Schick. Obviously, Ladislav Krejci is the captain of the club. So they'll be pretty cool to watch here. And so Krejci, something else is happening here behind the scenes. You have Vladimir Dorita. He's a veteran, 35 years of age. Thomas Souček will try to put the West Ham relegation behind him. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. As for Group A in general, I do have Mexico winning this particular group. I have my group prediction sheet out there. I don't have it off my head. I have Mexico winning with South Korea second. I do have Czechia finishing third and advancing to the round of 32 as one of the best third place teams. I actually have Czechia beating Belgium, and I have Czechia and Mexico both into the round of 16. Do I have South Korea coming up the round of 16? Yes, I do. I have them breaking the hearts of one of the tri-host Canada.
All right. Well, we can't wait. South Korea and Czechia as they battle in Guadalajara to round out the first games from Group A. Tomorrow, B begins with Canada and Bosnia Herzegovina in Toronto. Matt will be on the call for that. Qatar and Switzerland also in that group. They'll play Saturday at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. How do we view Group B, Matt? I will start with you on Group B.
Yeah, because I'm doing 4 of the 6 games in the group. So plenty of action coming my way from the Canadian group. So I don't know. You'd say the Swiss are the favourites to get the group win in Group B. It's going to be a toss-up between Canada and Bosnia, probably for second. We didn't see much out of Qatar at all in their hosting of the tournament in terms of the play on the field at their tournament they hosted 3.5 years ago. They were the whipping boys of that group, and I suspect they'll probably be the same again here. I've got the game I'm doing tomorrow, the Canada-Bosnia game, as a tight draw. Feel like the home nation in that one will be spurred on by the home support in Toronto. They would not go into it as favourites, that is for sure, but got that as a draw tomorrow, but we'll see how that all plays out. And then, yeah, Qatar against Switzerland, that probably will see a few more goals on Saturday to round out that group. And then from Saturday is when it really starts to kick off, because we've got 3 and 4 games a day from there on, Seth, as we head through the rest of this sort of this first round of group matches.
Yep. Should be a very interesting one indeed as we get set for this.
So yeah, lots of games to come, and then we've got the second page of the groups as JT does the wizardry behind the scenes. Plenty of stuff to come.
All right, I'm back. I have to deal with it. All right, I have to deal with the damn bastard spam caller.
A lot of the new boys on that second page there: Switzerland, Cape Verde, and Jordan, of course, as well, who I've managed to unfortunately pick up in my work sweepstake today, which is tremendous for me. But yeah, plenty of the new nations, which will bring a new flavour to this tournament as it expands through the next, will take over our lives for the next 3 or 4 weeks, certainly, and especially when we get towards the knockout stages, it will be even more exciting then too. Half time here, and it is Mexico 1, South Africa 0 in this opening game of the tournament.
So Jack out.
Oh, we do that every day. So you see the halftime score here as we go towards the second half here in Mexico City. And Julian Quinones with the difference-making goal in this first half. I would doubt that highly. United States opener is tomorrow night in Los Angeles against Paraguay. Matt, big tournament, of course, for the United States. I feel like we say that every World Cup that comes around. Is this the time for the United States? Obviously, the stage is huge for this team. 1994, they hosted the World Cup and really introduced the sport to this country. Now they try to make it a major sport in this tournament.
Yeah, and it will only be helped by them going, getting out of the group and having a run in the knockout phase. I've actually got them to win all 3 games in their group. I've actually got them to get 9 points. The draw was kind to the US. It could have been a lot worse. to have Turkey as your European team in your group is not a bad shout, because much like we talked about with South Africa back at the start of the broadcast, they're not the team that they were, Turkey, in the late noughties. So a lot of recycle there. Australia will be a tough team to break down. We don't really know what we're ever going to get with Paraguay. And they're the opening game, as you said, at SoFi tomorrow night, which is going to be extremely exciting.
You have the United States winning all 3 matches in the group. My goodness, Seth.
I don't have my predictions near me right now, but I do remember having them as the group toppers with 9 points.
Seth, where are you at on the United States in Group D?
You mean these United States of America? Yes, I have them winning the group as well.
Well, we'll see. It's been an interesting build-up, because, at least over here stateside, because you have a lot of people that say that's a really favorable group, but you do have a lot of people saying that perhaps it's not as easy as you would expect. Like you said, Matt, we don't see Paraguay on this stage all that often, so they're a question mark. Perhaps Turkey A is a question mark as well. Australia played well 4 years ago in Qatar. We'll see tomorrow night from now the home of Myles Garrett, SoFi Stadium.
Oh, God.
Los Angeles. They need to bring some Myles Garrett force to that match, perhaps. Group C, top right of your picture. Brazil and Morocco are the 2 favorites in that group. Now, if I were to ask anyone, hey, Seth, who advanced further in the 2022 World Cup, Brazil or Morocco? The answer is Brazil, right? Right?
You thought wrong. No, they did not. It was the Rockin' Moroccans who shocked the entire footballing world 4 years ago. Matthew, I go back to what I told you the other day. This is this was the easiest group for me to pick 1 through 4 in terms of finishing, with Brazil first, Morocco second, Scotland third, and Haiti in fourth. Glad to see the Tartan Army back in the World Cup. It's been a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, really.
Well, we'll see if Scotland can make their way through, Matt. They last
year. Yeah, and Scotland, that game being on at silly o'clock, a Scottish holiday, as JT reminds us behind the scenes on Monday. They have the day off in Scotland to recover from being up at whatever time that game kicks off. 2 a.m. our time for Scotland to probably put a few past Haiti in their opening game, their first tournament since '98. Of course, where they were in the opening game of that '98 tournament and went down to Brazil, who they will then play again in the Group C stage. Teams are back out in the Azteca ready for the second.
So, second half beginning. Thank you to you, Seth, and we'll come back to you after the game as well for some more thoughts. That was like a preview show during halftime. Look at us go. South Africa will kick off to start the second half, Matt. Going now from our left to our right. Yellow uniforms, yellow shorts, green numbers. Mexico in the green shirts, white numbers, white shorts, and red socks will go from right to left. And the second half is underway.
Yep, South Africa in all yellow from left to right on our internet radio dial, as we used to say at the old network. And they will get this game underway. And they've gone all the way back to their goalkeeper here to start the second half. Rowan Williams, the captain, he's played it out to the far side. 2 Mexican attackers keeping them under pressure here. They're giving it away to Gutierrez on the edge of the area. And it's going to be a chance which is blocked and then cleared. Goodness me, living dangerously. And the shot from distance, that was from Gutierrez. Sorry, it's a miss ID on the first one. And Brian Gutierrez blazes over. And we could have had a second goal inside the first 40 seconds of the second half.
I don't know why they keep doing that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Gutierrez, it came to him on the edge of the penalty area. after the initial chance from Vigaldo, the number 8, was blocked and sort of half cleared and ended at the feet of Gutierrez, who has had a couple of chances so far in this game, snatched that one and put it over.
South Africa back with it and into the attacking half as they search for an equalizer. Mudau up the right channel, slides it towards the edge of the penalty area. It was a bit of a heavy touch from Rayners, taken away, but not cleared very far by Quinones. But now it comes back to Fidalgo, who tries to slice one forward for Quinones, and it's an eyelash too long for Quinones to possess, and it's all the way back to Williams. No substitutions at halftime. Matt, we'll keep you up to date when any subs come in.
Don't forget 5 substitutions per team throughout the 90. Once we get into the knockouts, that changes again because you get an extra one in extra time, but we'll worry about that in a couple of weeks' time when we get into knockout football. But yes, no changes of personnel for either side at the break. The second break, of course, of the game, the first proper break here at half time as Gallardo gets the game back underway with the Mexican throw.
Back to Quinones, the goal scorer, who's neatly pinned it to Jimenez. And back to Quinones, charging over the halfway line up the left-hand side. And he saw Williams off his line and had to go maybe 50 or 60 yards from goal. Williams backpedals and retrieves. But Quinones with perhaps not the worst idea in the world. It was on target.
Sort of line drive kind of shot from Quinones from a long, long way out. But Williams spotted that one. And that was an easy catching practice, perhaps, for the South African keeper back there.
South Africa will try again to come forward, but they've turned it over very quickly on the far side. Roberto Alvarado with Brian Gutierrez inside him. Alvarado turns and tries to button hook his way around Bokazi. The defender gives it up. The return for Alvarado is too far, and it's safely guided back to Williams again. We'll see if they play it short and lackadaisically. They will. Sabisi up the near side. And Mexico have forced a takeaway very nearly, Matt. It's come back to a yellow shirt, though, fortunately.
Oh, and almost flicked on there towards Rayners at the other end for South Africa. It looked like everyone was stopping about to expect a free kick there, as could have been a chance for Mexico to break, but unable to keep possession, but they've got it back now in the right back position with Reyes.
So Mexico tried to push forward here again, and that ball has looped forward up the middle, and Alvarado is in. Alvarado towards the penalty area. He's clattered into from behind by Satoli, who might see red here, Matt. It might be straight red to Satoli. It is.
Yeah, inside the D. And it was Gutierrez that went through, and he just slowed up to try and figure out what he was going to do with the shot and was run over from behind, basically. And if that had happened 2 yards further forward, it would have been a different story. It would have been a penalty, but it'll be a Mexican free kick and South Africa down to 10.
Oh, dear. Well, we already knew it was going to be a arduous climb to get back level in this game, Matt. And now they have to do it with just 10 men as Satoli pulls down Gutierrez.
Yeah. Had his arm around him a little bit, and then the legs got tangled together in the running strides. And Gutierrez knew exactly the play there. Uncomfortable as he landed on the ball, but he wins the free kick, and Satoli will be the man to make way. And this is a great chance here for Mexico to double their lead. Problem is, from right on the line of the penalty area, you would perhaps say this free kick is a touch too close. If there could be such a thing.
I mean, it's not even maybe a foot from outside the penalty area.
It's as close to a penalty as anything we've ever seen. It's that close to the white line.
It'll be just from the right of center, won't it? And we'll see who will.
Yeah, it's Jimenez who spotted the ball. He's looking the most interested here as Williams decides what he wants to do with his wall.
And he's got plenty of yellow shirts in this wall here to try to smother this. But it does look like it'll be Raul Jimenez, the 35-year-old that plays in England with Fulham. Matt, here he goes to try to double Mexico's lead.
And it will be Jimenez right-footed into the wall. It breaks to Gutierrez. Chance for Gallardo on the left-hand side. And his last shot ends up way up in the stands. That's the problem with the free kick from that close. You've got to get it up and then back down again. And in fact, Jimenez was actually trying to lash it past the wall. And it caught the man on the end of it, right in the chest.
He has left a tattoo on the right shoulder of Reyners, who will have that mark perhaps for the rest of his life to signify that he played in the 2026 World Cup. Goal kick, Williams will send it high and deep from our left to our right, but it pinballs back to the green shirts of Mexico. Fidalgo threaded it forward. Quinones wide on the left-hand side as they attack the 10 men of South Africa, and into the area from the left. Gutierrez has it knifed right off his boot. It's out for a corner.
You feel like this game, if it wasn't open already, certainly is going to open up now with South Africa a man short. And Mexico will try and pounce on this as quickly as they can to see if they can double their lead with this corner kick upcoming.
Alvarado will take it from the near left corner flag. Is this Mexico's moment to go up 2?
And it comes and headed away by a South African defender. It's going to make its way all the way to the halfway line and then cleared by the number 6 leader and puts it out for a throw.
Well, South Africa survive that. Only just, but they have survived it. And now they can try to push with, again, only 10 players for this equalizer that they've been going for a long time now. But that ball scooped through traffic up the far left-hand side by Bokazi, threw everyone and out for a Mexican throw. Only once in the history of this World Cup, Matt, has a host/co-host lost their opening game. And if you feel like you remember the one time of it happening, you should. The only time it happened was 3.5 years ago with Qatar, who became the first host to lose their opening match of a World Cup. No other host or co-host has lost their World Cup opener. That it does include South Korea and Japan from 2002. As here's Mexico on the attack. Long looping ball sent diagonally up the right-hand side. Alvarado was the target. It's beyond him. South Africa will have a throw or a goal kick here. We'll see. It'll be a throw from the far side parallel to the penalty area. Matt, of course, this is the third time for Mexico as a host. They drew in their opener here at the Azteca with the Soviet Union in 1970, and then in 1986, a 2-1 win over Belgium.
South Africa try and bring this away, and here is Reyners. Chance here for something perhaps for South Africa down this right-hand side. He will wait and go back, and they will try and cycle this across the field. So furthest we've seen South Africa in terms of point on the field in possession for a while. See if they can try and do something here with Mokwezi. He will do a circle and doesn't have many options going backwards or forwards. It's come back to this right-hand side again with the number 20 moved to the right back. And again, he hasn't got any options either.
Now sit back centrally for Mokoena, away from Fidalgo, pushed up the middle for a long-range attempt that's fumbled a bit by Rangel, but he claims it off the left boot of Aubrey Modiba.
Yeah, a little bit of a fumble, but like he was in fair control. So yeah, you mentioned the Mexicans in this as hosts. This is the first time a stadium has hosted the World Cup opening game 3 times here at the Azteca. It's actually the stadium that's hosted the most World Cup matches in World Cup history. This is its 20th game in a stadium that's hosted 3 openers and 2 finals. This was the place that a certain Mr. Pele and a certain Mr. Maradona have raised a World Cup trophy above their head. It's one of, if not the World Cup stadium, and Lyle Foster is being replaced here 10 minutes into this second half.
Sorry, Matt. Lyle Foster coming off for Talente Bata, a 26-year-old that comes from the Orlando Pirates in the the South African Premiership.
Yeah, not
Has been there
Orlando,
for the last
US,
couple of
but
years. Yes, not
Orlando
Orlando,
Pirates.
Florida
No.
Pirates. No, no. As Mexico get play restarted. So the first of 5 substitutions that are allowed, made by Hugo Bruce, as the ball popcorns around right around the center circle, and South Africa's come away with it again. Mudau plays it safely back to the back line. Sabisi, long diagonal ball that was a bit lazily struck. It's been taken away by Alvarado, who's tried to push it out for Jimenez, who got pushed himself. Ball up the far touchline and still up for grabs. South Africa trying to defend it away. They haven't done it confidently. They've given it away top right corner of the penalty area, and then a foul given there as Lira was taken down. Mexico will have another set piece opportunity.
Yeah, indeed. Lira just pounced upon there. That was Madiba being behind him with the foul. So that's back to the substitution. That's a defender coming on for a striker. So they're trying to shore things up at the back now that they are a man short. South Africa trying to make this 1-0 sort of stick. We talked about goal difference earlier on, might be a factor later on in the tournament. They're trying to concede as little as possible in this opening game, but a chance here for Mexico from this upcoming free kick, which Alvarado and Gutierrez are both in and around, with 5 or 6 Mexican players inside the penalty area, and all being spoken to by the Brazilian referee.
Let's see, Matt, if this is when Mexico gets the second goal, which feels like it's been coming. Here it comes.
Gutierrez in, flicked and then flicked again. And then South Africa will get it away on this right-hand side. Yes, they will clear from their own byline. Trying to get Rangers away. Is that ball going to go out of play? It will, for a throw.
They've done the job there as we approach the hour mark.
There's a famous face from a post-USA tournament. Again, in the crowd there, Roberto Baggio. Of course, the villain of the piece from the 94 final.
Yes, the man that died standing still in 1994 at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California. Good move up the right-hand side by Alvarado. Well, Mexico
at the same end of the ground.
Reverse it back into their own half. And all the way back to Rangel, and Mexico will start again up the left-hand side now. Johan Vazquez dropped it on off for Gallardo. Gallardo steps towards the inside, hands it off for Lira. As we will hit the 60th minute here, with Mexico up 1-0 through Julian Quinones, who scored in the 9th minute. Vazquez at the halfway line, left-hand side, continues to pick up the pace. Now slices it to the inside. Fidalgo cuts back left, leaves it there for Quinones, the goal scorer, who spot a runner off the far side, but the ball does not make it to Alvarado.
Yeah, thumbs up between them. Good idea. He was coming in with no cover on the far side there, Alvarado, but just a little bit overhit on the cross, and it spins out of play for a South African goal kick.
Now, goal kick from South Africa, as Matt said. That makes me very nervous because of how the other goal kicks have gone. Matt, try to guide us through this one.
They've got it clear of the penalty area this time, but not too far forward. The press from the Mexicans is on here. Try and pin South Africa back, but they have managed to find their way out to the halfway line. Ball played forward towards Rangers, but that's headed defensively forward by Mexico and straight back out for a South African throw.
Tossed in with an hour gone. Half hour and change for South Africa to attempt to draw back level. But again, as you see the red hash mark on your screen under the South African score, they are down to 10 players after a red card to Yaya Satoli early in this second half, reduced the African side to just 10. Ball is played forward and a foul is given. Modiba was taken down by Alvarado. Looked like South Africa was set to make a substitution, and they are. Temba Zwane, the veteran that's been with the national team now for 12 years, will come and take the place of Jaden Adams. So Timba Zwane, who has won 10 South African Premiership titles, Matt, with Mamelodi Sundowns, very decorated player in his native South Africa, takes the field at a World Cup for the first time.
Yep, this will be his 54th cap for his nation. 12 goals to his name. A 13th wouldn't go amiss in the next half an hour, would it, to get themselves back level? Mexico in possession of the ball just outside their own penalty area. They will try and work this forward as we are, again, trying to get used to this. A couple of minutes away from the second half's hydration break, which will not be too far away. So two substitutions so far for the South Africans, none for the Mexicans. And they're in control here, just past the hour mark at the Azteca.
Mexico, who struggled to score goals in the World Cup 3.5 years ago in Qatar, did not advance from the group for the first time in 8 years. As Mexico from the back will try to play out with South Africa pressing a little bit more forward now. Fidalgo forced to play it back to Rangel. Those 3 group games that they played in Qatar, Mexico, they lost to Argentina 2-0. They drew to Poland 0-0. And they only scored their 2 goals in their group finale against Saudi Arabia, as we've had contact here with some rain just starting to spit down, Matt, all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And going down is Mudal, who has been fouled by Quinones.
Bit of a high boot there from Quinones towards the sort of shoulder area of Mudal. Yeah, I noticed that before when we were having the substitution that I thought I saw the odd raindrop. It is that time in Mexico. It's that time of the afternoon where it perhaps would start to sprinkle. Game is back underway. Looks like Mexico are readying at least one change down there on the bench upcoming as the ball goes long from Williams, the South African goalkeeper, towards Reyners, but he was crowded out by 3 Mexican defenders.
Mudal was wide open on the near side. They've kept possession here, and a ball is sent towards Mudal, cutting in from the penalty area from left to right, but it's gone beyond him. Goal kick.
Reyners again in there trying to get a touch on the cross, but again was perhaps bullied out of it as the ball came in.
Mexico will restart play here as we are only about 3 minutes away from the hydration break and the end of the third quarter. Go to the money quarter of the opening match of the World Cup. Playing from the back here is Mexico, who, as Matt just mentioned, has not yet made a substitution. Long ball sent up the near side has gone out of play. South Africa will throw in, done so quickly by Mudal. In for Sabisi. Sanadi Sabisi, all the way back to the goalkeeper Williams, well out of the penalty area to hoist it long, knocked down by Cesar Montes. He'll then flex it up the far side beyond Jimenez, and yellow shirts are around it.
Looks like there's going to be 2 changes at least for Mexico next time they get an opportunity down there. Upcoming shortly as South Africa trying again under pressure, and they've lost out. Here's Quinones, goes central. Brian Gutierrez trying to feed one through towards Gallardo, the left back, who was the furthest fan forward. But South Africa snuffed that one out.
Finally, Williams will send this long. And perhaps that's the reason they haven't done it much today, is it's not gotten to anyone on the receiving end of it and out for a Mexican throw. But my goodness, they have been messy playing out from the back. Mexico to make a couple of substitutions, as Matt mentioned. Brian Gutierrez coming off. Luis Chavez will come on for him, and it's Alvaro Fidalgo coming off to be replaced by Gilberto Mora. The youngest player in this World Cup tournament, Matt, is Mora at age 17. As play restarts, and it's back to the Mexican goalkeeper, who sends it up the far side, and Mexico can start once again just before we hit this hydration break. Ball played into the middle of the field. Chavez just coming on. Could not control it. South Africa with a takeaway.
And they will give it straight back to Mexico there in the center of the field. Here's Jimenez. He goes backwards, but perhaps wasn't his intended pass, and Mexico will have it in the back line with Montez, and they will try and play back out of here from the back. In fact, I think they're just trying to slow things down here and get to the hydration break, which perhaps if they just look to the sky, the rain is intensifying. Here's Jimenez just inside the South African half.
Quinones sends it out up the right-hand side. Mexico are on the attack here. Left-footed cross is sent in, and it's headed towards goal, and Raul Jimenez has thrusted it home. It is Mexico's moment, and it's Raul Jimenez doubling the lead for the co-host nation.
Free header at the back post for Raul Jimenez. Great cross from Alvarado on the left foot. And just before the hydration break, it is a second goal of the game, and their main man, their number 9, has come up with the goods. An emotional moment for that man, whose career possibly could have been ended with a head clash in the Premier League a few years back, hence why he has to wear the little headband that he wears. But he has got himself on the score sheet in a World Cup opener.
A lovely flick-on header, beating Williams to his right. And as the rain pours down and starts to intensify, perhaps there will be some tears coming from the eyes of a lot of Mexicans here, as Raul Jimenez, who scored 9 goals in the Premier League last season with Fulham and has gone plenty of places in his club career, plenty of big places, Matt. Atletico Madrid, Benfica, Wolves, now with Fulham. This is the moment he'll forever remember, as he has just scored in a World Cup game for the first time ever. He had never started a World Cup game in the prior 3 World Cups that he had been on the squad for. He starts today. He scores today.
And he's just, you mentioned he was at Wolves. He's actually just gone back there, gone through that deal this week. So back to Wolves for Raul Jimenez, and he will go back to his new club as a World Cup goal scorer. And now we are taking the hydration break. We've taken this opportunity before game gets back underway. May as well, before we get kicked off again, to take the break. And South Africa will now probably switch it straight into cruise control here for the last 25 minutes or so. A man advantage, and now a 2-goal advantage as well.
Well, I'm not sure if Mexico has been... I don't feel like Mexico has totally taken the shackles off of their attack in this second half, Matt. They've been a little bit subdued, but you still felt that coming.
Yeah, absolutely. And South Africa look a little bit all at sea at the back, as we've commented on a few times during the game. And again, the shape was not there, and Jimenez ran away from Modu, the right back there, to sneak in behind and get there first. It was a free header. You won't score an easier goal. Is a line that gets rattled off quite often, but that was fairly textbook from him. And Mexico have doubled their lead. And we are already at the end of that fairly quick hydration break. So we're about to get the game back underway with the kickoff post the goal. An extended goal celebration for the Mexicans in their home stadium.
And Fox has not come back from break yet, Matt, so you take it.
Okay. Not yet gone. And here we go. So back underway with South Africa in possession. And they will now spend the next 20 plus minutes stemming the bleeding, I guess, because this could now turn a little bit and become a little bit embarrassing for them. Let's hope not.
You do wonder, Matt, again, as we try to retrain our brains, third place teams can go through.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world, this at all.
does South Africa now spend these last 20 minutes just preventing a third goal from being put past them?
Yeah,
For the
or
sake of goal difference.
seeing if they can get down the other end and get one themselves to nick one, because goals scored might be an eventuality if goal difference is the same. They'll be watching on it intently tonight for the second game in this group, which Seth will have the call of, South Korea against Czechia, which I have as a 0-0 draw, and I have this as a 2-0. So at the moment, it's looking decent for me, and that would it would be good for the South Africans, let's say, if that does be the case later, but not entirely sure it will be. Quinones plays it forward. Here's Raul Jimenez on this left-hand channel, running at the South African defenders. He goes into the penalty area, and the flag on the far side is up.
He was offside.
What, the second offside of the game in 70 minutes?
So, yeah. How about that? Well, and they did have a chance that looked like they may have scored on, that had they scored on probably would have come back, but we didn't get the flag up because South Africa got in possession. So on the free kick, put into the center circle, flicked on, quickly picked off. And here come Mexico again, Matt, through a bunch of traffic. It's wriggled free, though, to Bata, and then Bata's lost it. Here come the Mexicans.
Alvarado on the left hand, on the far side. It's played in toward Jimenez, and he gets blocked off on the edge of the penalty area. Referee's waved it away, and has now blown to stop the game because Jimenez has stayed down, but he's not going to give a free kick or would be a penalty for that. Looked fairly sus to me.
Yeah, I can't believe they haven't given that.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, that's Sabisi who has crashed into him. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I think the referee might this might get VAR checked, because Sabisi's looking at Jimenez. He's not looking at the ball as he comes across. There was a good shot of it there from behind the goal, although play's underway. So it looks like the VAR booth have agreed with the on-field referee.
Mexico restart play. Ball sent into the center circle for Quinones. Oh, wow, and he gets toppled over by Sabisi again, and he'll definitely see a yellow card for that. Sabisi has come out over the last couple of moments here, Matt, and he says this is a full contact sport, and he wants his fingerprints left on it. Yellow card in Kosanati Sabisi. Wow.
Yeah, nice little turn from Quinones, and then he got high and low tackled at the same time by Sabisi. There was a hand on the shoulder and a stomp on the ankle. Quinones back up on his feet, but gingerly moving away. The referee wants the game back underway, and Mexico will do that now.
About a quarter of an hour left here. Luis Chavez up the near touchline. Gallardo returns it to him. Be interested to see how intent Mexico are at trying to get more goals before this is up. As Chavez at the halfway line pokes it forward. Quinones wraps it back. Taken by Johan Vazquez. And played to the far side. Grabbed there by Reyes in his first World Cup.
Gilberto Mora on the ball. You mentioned the youngest player in the tournament, 17, but this is his 8th cap for his country. So a lot of high hopes for this next Mexican youngster off the production line. Is Quinones on the left-hand side, knocking about nicely here. Try and work an angle. Quinones through the legs of the referee, gets it back from Jimenez, but the ball was out of his spell, and then diving in was Gallardo, who lost out. And here's Chavez. He gets hacked down. Referee says no play on.
And South Africa bring it forward, but a foul is given by Chavez. Chavez commits the foul on Modiba. You mentioned Mora at age 17, Matt, and how he has played already in a good number of games for this Mexican national team. He's already scored 8 goals in just a couple of seasons at Tijuana. On the club level, as Mexico will make a substitution here, and South Africa is going to make a couple as well. In fact, it'll be 2 off for Mexico. Lira and Jimenez out for Edson Alvarez, the captain of this Mexican team, and Armando Gonzalez in his first World Cup.
Gonzalez, the 23-year-old from Guadalajara, where that second game of the group will be played later on today. And the South African change 2 for them, Mabida and Reyners off. And it's Apopolis, the number 7, who is coming on. At least one of the 2 changes, as Madiba slowly makes his way across to this touchline. So Apopolis on the number 7 and the number 17, Mcgapo, on as well.
Clear evidence that South Africa is looking for answers as they bring on Evidence Mahopa.
Very good. I'll try and sniff out a goal here.
Yeah, indeed. Play restarts, and it's sent keeper to keeper. From our left to our right, Williams to Rangel, who picks it up with pressure coming from Mahopa, hoping for a loose ball pickup there. I've come locked and loaded, Matt.
Yeah, you had that one ready to go. Well played. And Mexico will now play a bit of keep ball here inside their own half. It's back with the goalkeeper. And as you mentioned, there has been a change of armband with Alvarez coming on. He's taking it from Montes, who started the game with the captain's armband for Mexico. And here is the new captain on field on the ball.
Mexico just trying to see this out here. It looks like as Rangel right at the face of goal gives it up, and Vasquez forces it on into the middle. Chavez plays it back out wide on the far right side. Israel Reyes from the right of the center circle with South Africans starting to creep towards him. Turns it back. Now it's sent for Mora. Here is that 17-year-old charging out up the left-hand side. Bata is after him, Matt, as he gives it to Gallardo, who tried to thread it forward. It's off a South African and out.
Yeah, be a Mexican throw in. That's the thing now, and there's going to be another change here as well. With the changes that are coming thick and fast, it does slow the tempo of the game down too, and it's the other goal scorer this time that's making his way off field for Mexico.
Quinones out for Alexis Vega, who will check in for him. Vega has been a goal-scoring machine at Toluca, as it will be Gallardo to throw in. Does for Mora. Mora will switch it from the left-hand side to the right. Taken down by Alvarado. Popped forward for Chavez, and Chavez is to the right of the penalty area, Matt. Does he have anything on the end of it?
Chance to cross, but they will clear South Africa quite nice and calmly for the moment anyway. Much calmer than some of their other attempts to clear that kind of thing. But again, Mokoena turning back into danger under pressure from Mora, who wants the ball back and gets it. And referee says, I was going to say, says play on, no, wags the finger and gives the South Africans the free kick.
17-year-old with plenty of energy to burn.
Yeah, indeed so.
B17 again.
Oh, indeed so. Oh, and again, chance there. Vega on spot there, trying to nick the possession back from the South Africans inside their own half. It goes long from Williams. And Alvarez at the back there to clear up for Mexico.
Montes with it for Mexico. Again, a reminder, as you can see, bottom of your screen, next game up on the lineup. Overall for the World Cup and here on the channel. South Korea and Czechia tonight from Guadalajara, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Seth Eves on the call of that for you as South Africa has nearly won this ball back in the final third. And here is Zwane, one of the substitutes, top left corner of the box, Matt, with something perhaps here for South Africa.
Yeah. Mexican player down. He was run into by Zwane right by the ball. And it was Apopolis who had the shot in the end, the number 7, twisting and turning and getting his shot away. And it's Alvarado that went down and has stayed down. But the shot from Apopolis actually took the sting was taken off it by a Mexican defender's boot, and it went straight through to Rangel in the goal. And yeah, Zwane tried to run through Alvarado, who took one to the side of the head there. He actually ended up with 2 Mexican players on the deck here. But all is well, and we are about to get back underway. in a game which feels very much like it's petering out with 10 minutes to play.
Yes. Yes, it is. You see the lineup.
Don't tell these
again.
fans that I'm here to support the home team that this game is petering out.
Yes, they have spent their money well to be here.
Indeed.
Money, a big conversation around this World Cup. As you can see, bottom of your screen, our upcoming lineup of games here on the channel. And also, you've got the Stanley Cup final also on air tonight, as you see. Game 5 between Vegas and Carolina. That best-of-7 series is tied 2 games apiece. That's tonight at 8 o'clock. I think we're going to have a VAR check.
Yeah, I think we are here. And this, I would imagine, is for Zwane running over Alvarado, but the referee is on his way to the screen, which is just by the centre. And this is going to be a possible red card for the attacker, you would imagine. Oh, well, he does. There's the initial contact and block, and then there's a left arm that swung out from Zwane, which catches Alvaro, which is why he goes down. And that looks pretty damning on first inspection there.
The back of the neck, or maybe even the back of the head, is where he's gotten him with that left forearm.
I don't understand why it's taken this long to look. Frankly, that looks fairly damning on the evidence from that shot. He was frustrated with the block.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that Alvaro is backing into him, which I can understand. But well, let's see what's said here from the referee. VAR in. He is waving the South African players away while he makes his announcement to the stadium.
It's Mudau who is closest to him here that's looking for an explanation, as the Brazilian referee now conversates with Mudau. And yeah, he's reaching for the card in his pocket here, Matt. And I think this is going to be it for Timba Zwane. He walks over to Zwane, and he will show him a red card. And South Africa have been reduced to 9.
Well, memories perhaps of the 1990 opener where Cameroon had 2 men sent off against Argentina at the San Siro, that they won that game. South Africa don't look anywhere near like they're going to win this game, and they are down to 9 men.
Zwane, who, as I mentioned, a part of 10 South African Premiership title teams at Mamelodi Sundowns. He's appeared in 300 games with that squad domestically. And tonight, his 54th cap for the national team hasn't gone well. Mexico have restarted play. We're in the 85th minute.
Yeah, short cap. He was on as a sub, and not long after that, off with the red card. Ball forward. It's towards Vega. He's trying to skip away from a couple of South African defenders. Goes down. Ball's run out of play. Referee says goal kick.
Not the start South Africa would have wanted from this, and I'm sure the players and coaches, Matt, from Czechia and South Korea watching this from Guadalajara thinking, okay, we've got to take care of business tonight, because you would favor 3 points in the standings for when each of them plays South Africa based on what we've seen here this afternoon.
You would imagine so. Of course, they would have done plenty of scouting on the rest of the teams in the group already if they are watching this game live, and instead of getting themselves in the right frame of mind and set for the game this evening. And that isn't exactly like it's happening in the next half hour. There's plenty of time before that kicks off. So you would absolutely feel like they would be, both of them, chomping at the bit to get a result later, because it does look like the South African team are, as many predicted, perhaps going to be the whipping boys of Group A. 5 minutes to play plus stoppage time here at the Azteca. In the opening game of the 2026 World Cup, Mexico up by 2 goals and by 2 players.
Left-hand side, Gallardo squares it back. Mora, the 17-year-old, weaves it. Vega played on back. Chavez. Wonder how hard they'll attack now, up 2 players, Mexico, for these last few minutes, Matt, to try to get a third.
Yeah, they would like to see if they can figure a way through. Here's Alvarado, who's been sprightly all game on the right-hand side. Goes back in field to Mora. And now it comes across again to Vega. He'll run at the defenders on the edge of the penalty area. Little spin move. Thought about the cross. And it's come recycled again out to Gallardo, the left back forward. Into the penalty area. Here is Mora twisting and turning. And they've been crowded out. How the Mexican attackers, South Africa, will get it away with no great deal of confidence. And they've lost the ball out again. And here they do come away with it. And Reyes will shepherd that out. It'll be a throw on the far side.
And he gets shoved by Bokazi. It's just been a mess for South Africa at times, just pinning together more than 2 or 3 passes with any kind of intent.
Yeah, indeed. So, World Feed just giving us a replay of the ref cam of that incident for the second red card. And again, from that angle, it looked fairly spot on that was going to be a red card, and it was. Good use of the VAR. Oh, that perhaps won't be said throughout this tournament. Here's Gallardo on this near side touchline.
What makes
Mexico
you say
try
that?
And, well, past experiences perhaps.
Why are you looking
Chavez
at me
has the
ball?
It will come up, I'm sure. As I said earlier, let's see how far we can get into this tournament before we have the first VAR controversy. We shall see. Maybe Seth will have that later in the Korea Czechia game. We'll find out.
Well, you're putting it
Here
all
is
on
Vega,
Seth
the number
tonight,
10.
huh? You're putting a
No,
0-0 game on the VAR controversy on Seth.
Well,
Seth is behind the scenes wondering, why are you
shaking
doing
his head and waving his arms, Frank,
Yeah.
feverishly at me. Yes, indeed. As Mexico try and bring the ball forward, down has gone Mora under the ball, but it's going to be a South African free kick.
Well, this World Cup is in North America, so I feel like if you say that word, you have to say it controversy rather than controversy.
Sorry, yes. that controversy made out of aluminium.
Welcome to North America, everyone. As Mexico will have a goal kick. And as they do that, we will enter the 90th minute here of this World Cup opener at the Azteca, which Mexico will win fairly straightforward.
Yeah.
The only question will be, as we wind down the final few moments, Matt, will they win it 2-0 or even more than that as Alvarez crosses the halfway line and sends it to the far side?
He wants to see if he can put an additional one on the scoreline, headed forward by him towards Mora. He gets scythed down. Play continues. South Africa bringing it away with a Popolis. And Mokwena trying to wiggle and weave away. He gets robbed by Alvarez getting back on the ball, who gets a shove from behind, and that's going to be a Mexico free kick.
A very physical second half.
Yes. Certainly more than it was in the first half. Mokbezi this time with the foul on the captain, and that was a shove. Seems a lot of frustration you would feel amongst the South Africans that are still on the field anyway.
Yeah, isn't it interesting, Matt? You long to be in a World Cup, and it's been a long time since South Africa's played in a World Cup game, 5,833 days ago, since their stunning victory on June 22nd over France in the final group game from 2010. Now you get to this point of finally getting into a World Cup game, and it's 90 minutes of frustration. As you see, top right of your screen, 90 minutes complete, 7 added on.
Yeah, indeed. It's not going to be a happy camp, is it, for the next couple of days? But perhaps if that second game in the group is a draw. That would still give them some hope. Later on, we'll find out. Here's the ball forward for Mexico, edge of the penalty area. Alvarado on the far side, and he'll go back to Reyes as they not going too mad about this. Mexico, they're just trying to work their angles here to try and find a third goal. Vega, about 20 yards out, he plays it to Mora, who's told to get up by the referee, and South Africa will come away with it.
Oh, and with space, right-hand side, it's Mudau. Is he going to be this generation Shabalala? Oh, he's tripped up right at the edge of the penalty area by Cesar Montes.
Free kick given. Mexico players don't like it. They're pointing at what happened at the other end where they probably, or they thought, should have had a free kick themselves. And it's another red card.
Oh,
my goodness. Straight red. Wow.
Montes has seen red, a straight red, for crashing in to Mudau. Wow.
He came across to close him down, and Mudau just took it past him. Went down a little bit, made the most of it. Let's say there was definitely contact. I'm not sure that's a red card, but he's also perhaps the last man. So by the letter of the law, it's been given. A third red card. Yeah.
Third red
card.
Indeed. Goodness. All right. Free kick from the top right corner of the penalty area, Matt, from Taboho Mokoena, who will try to steer this in and maybe give South Africa a goal. As
Montes is still not left the field here,
no.
By the way. And now he's going to talk to his goalkeeper. Is he? No, he's walked past the goalkeeper and he's going to go and stand behind the goal.
19 players on this pitch now.
In what hasn't been a very cardy game generally, but we've seen 3 straight red cards in the opener.
Mokoena going over to get another word from Hugo Bruce. This could be a very, I mean, if they score a goal here, Matt, it could be enormous for the rest of their World Cup. So this is huge. It's Mokoena and Bokazi who look like they're going to be, it's going to be one of those two to take.
Yep, discussions between the two of them. Everybody forward for South Africa. And it's going to be it is going to be Mokoena who's reset the ball, and here he comes. He'll step over it, touch it back, and what a waste. Mexico jump on it and clear, and whoever the clearing player was has picked up a knock there, but it's gone back forward again from Williams, and it was Gallardo underneath the header that time, and Mexico will in fact end up with a throw. So what a wasted opportunity that was for South Africa to do something from the dead ball.
Yeah. Mexico looked like they knew exactly what was coming there.
Yeah.
Oh, hello. Joe Samaniego in the chat section. Says, good afternoon from PDX. Viva Mexico. As South Africa's found some space on the left-hand side, the substitute Mahopa squares it back to Apala. Substitute to substitute. Now Mokoena returns it on that far channel. Apala looking for some kind of space. There should be plenty of it. There's 19 players on the pitch. And this ball speared forward up the right-hand side is beyond the target. Mudau and out. It's the first time an opening match has ever seen 3 red cards in World Cup history.
Well, we've set some history, well, more history than it being the first stadium to host 3 openers. It's now seen the first stadium to host a free red card game in the opening game. Yeah, exactly right.
South Africa with a throw-in on the near side, played back by Sabisi to Williams. As we wind this out, Matt, over the last next couple of minutes, you can see top right of your screen how much time was added on, how much has elapsed. And South Africa's got maybe 90 seconds if they want to try to push for one more goal. Long from Williams.
Flicked on, and it's going to be kept in down by the corner here by South Africa. See if they've got one last chance to put a ball into the area. They do, and cleared up and away by a Mexican defender, and Vega couldn't keep that in under his spell, and it spins out for a South African throw.
Quickly tossed back into Sabisi from the right of the center circle with about a minute left. Played across the circle to Ocon. Continue to push forward. Keep going. And nothing really to lose here, Matt. The difference for them between 2-0 to 3-0 isn't all that much, but the difference from 2-0 to 2-1 is. But now Mexico's got space the other way and a long looping ball at the left-hand side that Vega will get on the end of here, Matt. Let's see if they can turn in number 3.
It's actually fallen to a player who will. The referee blows up for a free kick in their favour, which I don't think they're perhaps wanted, but they get to react.
So O'Dow goes down again. He's been on the ground a lot, it would seem, today, as the sun has popped out here after raindrops came down about 20 minutes ago or so. We've reached the end of the 7 minutes, and the Brazilian referee is blown for full time, and that is it from the Azteca, where Mexico have started their World Cup account exactly the way they would have wanted. Julian Quinones in the 9th minute got the opening goal, and then Mexico in the second half finishing the deal through Raul Jimenez, their number 9, scoring his first ever World Cup goal in the 67th minute, and it's finished here at the Azteca. Mexico 2, South Africa 0. That's the way that the 2026 World Cup gets started, Matt White.
Yeah, indeed. Comfortable win for the Mexicans. They never really had to get out of sort of fourth gear, really. And of course, the red cards in the second half spoilt any chance South Africa had, really, of getting back into the game. And they've kind of consigned themselves to perhaps being the whipping boys of this group, as we touched on a few times during the match. But a comfortable win really, for Mexico. Nothing too much to trouble them. And they'll be looking forward to having their feet up this evening to watch the other game in this group.
Have to wait about 5 hours to do so, but they will wait for kickoff in Guadalajara at 10 p.m. Eastern time tonight for Czechia and South Korea. And the match. Yes, thank you, Seth. Yes, Akron, Ohio. In fact. So Akron, yes, could be where that is. So, Joe, by the way, asking, does a red card have any implications for the next game for both teams, or is it just the one game there, Matt?
Yes, they will miss the next game. That perhaps will be upgraded to 2 if it was something severe, foul play, or that kind of thing. But certainly those guys that were leaving the field via the referee's card, they will miss the next game in the group. And that will roll through to the knockout phase as well if that happens in the last group game.
So, a 2-0 Mexico victory, as you see, officially the full-time score, giving Mexico the 3 points to start their World Cup account. We'll bring in Seth Eves here. And Seth, your thoughts from this opener where co-host Mexico walks to a straightforward victory?
I think my mic's been hot the entire time, honestly. But yes, what a game. I'm with Matt. It never looked like South Africa posed any serious threat here. This was all Mexico, and we thought they would win comfortably, and they have. And now they have tougher challenges. They have Czechia and South Korea still to come, and boy, South Africa, if they could have gotten that goal, that could have helped, because goal difference is going to be really key with the third place teams advancing. But the problem is they didn't look like even a third place team, number one, and then number two, they're going to have 2 players suspended, as you have eloquently mentioned, for the next game. So it looks a long road for Bafana, and El Tri. I'm sure they'll have some things they want to work on, but a great start for Mexico at home.
As you take a look at the group standings now, updated from the Mexico victory, Mexico to the top of Group A on 3 points. South Africa to the bottom now on goal difference, with South Korea and Czechia to play later tonight in Guadalajara, as we talked about. Moving forward, Matt, as we have discussed quite a bit here recently now, South Africa's positioning in this group doesn't look great after what we've seen today, but going back to 4 years ago in Qatar, remember Iran had, I think it was 5 or 6 scored on them in the opening game by England. They came back as the decided underdogs against Wales and won that second group game, giving them a chance to advance in their final group game. So one group game opener does not a World Cup make.
Indeed so. Not out of it by any stretch of the imagination, South Africa, but if they were to go behind in their next game, which is on Thursday against the Czech Republic, if they were to go behind in the opening throws of that game, you would really feel for them in that position, because 2 losses would pretty much consign them. But again, if the other games, if Mexico don't beat Korea in that second match between those 2 teams, then it's all still to play for. Nothing is done here because South Africa have lost this game. Perhaps in a couple of previous World Cups with this extra knockout round and not so many teams, you would have really thought that they were already getting themselves ready to go home, even though they've got 2 matches still to play. But still many options open for South Africa despite this loss.
Yeah, absolutely right. As we get ready to sign off here from our opening of the World Cup here on the channel, just will go through and remind you that the second game of the night is coming up. But before we get to that, we will have Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final from Raleigh, North Carolina. The Vegas Golden Knights and the Carolina Hurricanes, the series lead on the line with the series tied at 2. That's on the channel tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Then at 10 p.m. Eastern Time tonight, it's the second game of the day in World Cup action. Also from Group A, South Korea and Czechia to battle with a 10 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff. Seth Eves will have the call there. And that will book the first day of the tournament here in this 2026 World Cup. Matt, final thoughts.
Great to have it finally underway. All the sort of politically talking and all the stuff that's happened this week with referees and everything else finally put to bed for at least a little while, and we can talk about some on-field action. Not the fireworks kind of game that we perhaps would have wanted to kick off the tournament. The statement victory for Mexico. They've got, as I said before, still a couple of gears in them if they need to, but they've got 3 points and left the home fans happy.
That will do it for us, as from the historic Estadio Azteca, we will send you later tonight to Estadio Akron in Guadalajara. And we'll turn you over to Seth Eves for that. Before then, hockey. JT and I will be on for you for Swing Game 5. Yes, JT will be on for Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final tonight. So, for everyone here, for the masterful JT behind the scenes, Seth Eves, Matt White, Matthew Owens signing off, we say so long, not good night. We say so long from Mexico City. We will see you later tonight. Goodbye.